Ladies and gentlemen, Alien, a classic sci-fi suspense thriller made in 1979. It's one of those movies where an alien being infests a space vehicle and proceeds to murder its crew one by one, deciding that it doesn't really like humans all that much. To watch this as a child was truly terrifying. That being said, as a movie today, looking back on it, yeah, I do think it was a good film. And based on other movies around at that time, perhaps a bit of a departure from the mold, because a lot of the science fiction of the 70s was very everyone wearing silver jumpsuits and brightly coloured hair and a sort of very... The future is a very shiny place, but Alien showed the future as being... Like, the vessel in the movie was... It was industrial. It was like a lorry or perhaps a long voyage sea tanker. The technology in it was perhaps believable. Basically similar to technology we'd have today in the way of controlling and commanding things. When it comes to engines, perhaps not so much. But as a fiction, it certainly had the science of the technology nailed down. As for the beloved Alien, which has become a pop culture icon today, the body horror involved in the creation of such a creature, the gestation, the birth process, literally growing inside of a person and then biting its way out of their stomach, literally cutting a person in half, has become perhaps one of the most iconic scenes of cinema. However, you're not here for my review of Alien. You're here for Jared Alphagenesis and his review of what he considers to be an overrated movie that was quite try-hard. Let's see what the man himself has to say. Why do you not have a shirt? I don't get it. I can literally grab, like... Where I film isn't really that far away from where I keep my clothes. And from the looks of it, where he films isn't exactly that far away from where he keeps his clothes. Why can you not just put clothes on when you're recording? What is wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Like the nudist YouTuber right here. I can't. What is...
Alright guys, so I'll admit I haven't seen this movie all the way through.
You're making a movie review of a movie that you haven't watched. Oh my god. This guy, man. This guy.
But I just want to give my review on it and let you guys know that I think this is one that you should really be careful about because it's one of those overrated movies from the 80s.
1979, actually. But it's fine. I don't think it's overrated. I think it's over-sequelized. There are too many sequels to Alien as a movie. I think the original was brilliant. I think the second one was alright. And then after that, I feel that's when the whole series just kind of went downhill. But I think that's another weakness that our boy Alphagenesis seems to have, is that he's not just focusing on the one movie, he's focusing on basing the one movie on all of the hype that the entire franchise has received. It's overrated! But yes, as a series, the series of movies is overrated. But Alien, as a movie on its own merits, I think it's a really good movie. I don't think it's overrated at all. I don't think it's underrated, but I do believe it's the one that shows that lightning can only be captured in a bottle at a location once, and then never again.
I just did some reviews on those. You can check out if you like.
He'll be talking about his Ghostbusters and Jurassic Park review, of which we've covered the Jurassic Park review on my channel as well. Feel free to give that one a watch. It's quite amusing.
But let's talk about Alien. So, first of all, let's just say that, the idea of an alien from outer space attacking people is something that I think a lot of people could enjoy.
Well, obviously, Jared, come on. War of the Worlds was written in the 1890s? Something like that. I don't have my copy to hand. I couldn't give you an exact printing date. But the idea of aliens fighting with people has been about for a long time. It's been popularized in books up until, the era of film started. And then all through that, there's been alien films in black and white going way, 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 way back. I mean, we're talking about crazy stuff. Like, I remember seeing a really old French film made in the 20s, and it was about a train going to the moon, and the moon was alive. It was like an alien person thing. So yeah, quite a lot of people could enjoy the idea of aliens and humans, Jared. This is a heck of an understatement, man.
But really, you have to be careful not to overthink it, because a lot of times in Hollywood, I've noticed, stuff can become kind of try-hard, and it can get stale because of that. Like the Mario Brothers movie and the Street Fighter movie is a perfect example. They try too hard with it, and it ends up where it's just there's not enough action sequences, and it becomes stale. Like, the story actually becomes stale.
Jared, my dude, Alien is not an action movie. It's a psychological science fiction thriller. It's not about action. It's not about lots of aliens killing everyone. It's about the suspense, the where will the alien come from? When will the alien appear? It's in the mind. It's the hiding thing. And then suddenly, when you're alone, the alien gets you. Or if you split off from the other people, the alien gets you. Or if you go to the toilet, the alien comes out of it and eats you.
I know there's really there's only so much story you can make with a movie like Alien, but I just felt like for the most part, it was an overrated movie. But I will say, though, that it was fucking scary and scared the shit out of me as a kid. That goes without saying. But, yeah, I just didn't really think it was that great of a movie. I think that, I don't know, for whatever reason, a lot of people over-glamorize a lot of shit from the 80s and the 90s.
I think that's more to do with society having lived through that era rather than any kind of weakness or issue or not wanting to focus on any other decades. It's the ones that are closest to living memory.
Those, in my opinion, weren't the best decades.
Tell us, Jared. Tell us what your thoughts on what the best decades were. Where do your favourite films come from? From your point of view, everything from the 80s and the 90s is a bit try-hard, overrated. Tell us what you like. Cover something that you actually enjoy.
Really, there was a lot of corny shit, a lot of try-hard shit, and I think Alien is no exception. Even Jaws, I thought Jaws was kind of corny and stale, but, again,
Well, I mean, Jaws is a similar sort of idea to Alien. Now you're like, Stu, where are you going with this? Jaws is nothing like Alien, but more along the lines of it's psychological, it's suspenseful. You barely see the shark. Much like in Alien, you barely see the alien until it's too late and it gets you.
You can't hate on it because it has such a cult following and it has such a, I don't know, just a charm to it, I guess, that you can't hate on any of these movies.
What you say is hate, I would say criticism. And humanity is allowed to criticize anything it wants. Isn't that one of the tenets of your American free speech amendments? Jared, my dude, people have been criticizing Shakespeare's works for hundreds of years. For you to say, we can't hate on a movie from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, there's no grounding on that. Everything that humanity has created is allowed to be criticized in any way, shape, or form. From The Tempest to Fallout the Frontier, criticism is 100% valid on all artworks, all literature works, all gaming works. Your US founding fathers have given you the right to criticize things after they criticized the UK government for its taxation issues and threw all the tea in the harbour and had a wee fight over it all.
But yes, I do think Alien is one of those movies where it's just extremely overrated.
Overrated? I don't even know if you're using that word like in the right context, or if you even know like or understand what it means. You say it all the time. It's just so overrated.
And mediocre at best. But you know, again, like I think it's worth watching, but like don't get your hopes up. It's not one of those movies that, you know, I would consider a 5 out of 5 by any means. You know, cult classic. I don't even think I would call it that. I think that, you know, if you're looking for a cult classic, a lot of those kinds of movies are more on the lines of like horror movies. The reason is because a lot of horror movies back then, people, they weren't try hard because they knew they wouldn't make a lot of money to begin with. Like horror movies, there's only been one horror movie I can recollect that's ever gotten an Academy Award. I believe it was Silence of the Lambs, and of course going to Anthony, or the guy who played the crazy dude. I forget his name, brain fart.
Anthony Hopkins?
You guys know who I'm talking about. Anyways, but yeah, so Alien, in my opinion, is just one of those movies where they could have just cut a lot of the bullshit out and just put in more aliens. You know what I mean?
Amusingly enough, that's what they did for the sequel, Jared. The sequel, called Aliens, was space marines fighting aliens and all that. I guess this is a case where the sequel would have been the movie that you preferred over the first one.
That's just my opinion, guys. You're welcome to think differently. That's really all I got for this one, though, guys. So thanks for watching. Peace.
Peace. Again, Jared, thank you for making this video. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Alien. Just some overrated movie from the 80s. Well, late 70s. Anyway, I have been StooDogg. That has been the inimitable Jared Genesis. Another response to the man, the myth, the legend. And I'll catch you next time. See ya.